the way we maximize participation is by having in-person conversations. Each person on our team is, trying to reach as many people as we can, but we're not just trying to text them. We're not trying to email them. We're not trying to do any sort of communication that's easy to ignore, easy to miss, right? We want to have a genuine 5 or 10 minute conversation with them.
Treating our donors with care and importance and making them feel valued is super important when it comes to maximizing everything: participation, donation size, and I think most of all, making sure that our donors are returning year over year.
Welcome to Fundraising Events. During each episode, we will chat with an influencer in the event industry who's been instrumental in helping nonprofits raise more funds. Our goal is to share helpful tips, tricks, and stories that will empower you to raise more with your future events. Now, a little bit about our sponsor. This episode is brought to you by GiveSignup, RunSignup, your fundraising event technology experts. Next time you have a fundraising event, try GiveSignup, RunSignup. Whether it's a run, walk, ride, golf tournament, gala, or fundraising campaign, raise more, save time easily with the GiveSignup, RunSignup nonprofit-focused platform. Get started for free today at givesignup.org. I'm Brian Jenkins, and I'm joined today by David Gormley and Humza Rabbani. Welcome to Fundraising Events.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. So very excited to have some young people on our podcast. Not to say that any of the other people weren't young, but you guys are especially talented and young. So could maybe David, you could tell me a little bit about yourself, and then maybe Humza, you could talk a little bit about HeroSwim.
Sure. So I am a rising senior in the Bay Area, as well as Humza. And really, since we've become friends, we and the rest of this group of buddies that we've had has worked together to create this annual fundraiser that is HeroSwim, and the other projects we've worked on. But it started from this nucleus that was a friend group, and then it branched out into a fundraising team.
Basically, the essence of HeroSwim is that we run an annual event-based fundraiser that's usually a Swimathon, and our main goal is to both have an impact on local and global causes while also empowering local youth to help fundraise and impact those causes at the same time.
Yeah, so when we were 13 or 14, we saw these devastating hurricanes on the East Coast, and we thought, hey, we want to do something about this. So, a lot of us in that group were competitive swimmers. So we said, hey, let's do a swimathon. And we were totally oblivious to fundraising best practices. But I mean, it was a timely cause. People knew about it. People were seeing it on the news. People wanted to help. And so I think, we may have stumbled upon success there in that first year. But through that learning process, I think we became knowledgeable about how to run a fundraiser. We smoothed out our fundraising process, and each year we've improved.
I'll add that we've kind of tweaked the format of our event a bit over the years, but in essence, it's a swimathon. So everybody shows up at the pool on the same day, does laps. Some people have donors that have pledged to donate a certain amount per lap. So that's how they're generating their donations. Others donate before the event and just come to hang out and swim and have a good time. We've had guest speakers, water polo pros, representatives from the organizations we're donating towards at the event. So it's really just a fun time, a way to get all our donors together in one place for a kind of fun event that empowers and inspires everyone.
So question about, you guys used some of the East Coast hurricanes as kind of the impetus for this. So when those funds came in, how did you direct them to kind of, help, people or organizations in need in that area?
So we donated through United Way,
Okay.
our first year. So, we weren't on the front lines distributing supplies, but, and certainly finding a beneficiary has been one of our main challenges. But I say this pretty confidently. I think Humza as well, is that the research that we've done for each of ours, I'm confident that they're the right organization. They're doing the right things. and they're supporting the right people.
Good.
Yeah, I think we realized very quickly that even though we're just a group of kids, with the right amount of time and effort, we can generate a ton of money and have a really big impact on these organizations. In our first year, we ended up raising over $20,000, which was completely unexpected. So just in terms of that, we've kind of realized the power that we have. So selecting a beneficiary has become, a really key point every year, and just really key discussion point every year for us to come back to.
Yeah, I probably quite a learning experience too, of as you interview some of these organizations, finding out the impact that those dollars have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I remember one of the meetings with the Coral Reef Alliance. We have someone coming to meet with us, and obviously they're surprised that their clients are 14 instead of 40, but I think ultimately, I think we were very impressed with them in that meeting. I think they were really inspiring and really confident that we were going to make the right choice by picking them. But through the years, we've learned that as donors, we have some power, some leveraging power, and that's not to take advantage of, but to say, well, they might give us some opportunities to donate to more specific tangible cause within their fundraising organization, or they might be able to provide some resources that could work as great prizes, or work as like a fun activity at the event. So I think over the years we've gathered that it's good to understand that you have that power, and it's good to take advantage of it to maximize your fundraising yield and help out that organization.
Absolutely. So as a young organization, what are some of the challenges that you've faced in learning how to host fundraising events?
I'd say as young people kind of stumbling into the fundraising space with no idea what we were doing, I think the single biggest challenge we faced, especially in our first year, was just the lack of information and resources out there that was kind of A, targeted towards first-time fundraising organizers, and B, comprehensive. We couldn't find anything that would take us from start to finish and was also accessible and understandable to us as middle schoolers. So I think just in terms of that, it took us 3-4 years just to really get our feet stable on the ground and figure out how we actually wanted to run and organize this event. I don't know if David, maybe you want to add on to that.
Yeah, I think it was just, with that lack of knowledge, you can imagine every decision that, an informed fundraiser might have been able to make with their team in a couple of minutes. We were lost. How much money can we really spend on merchandise, and what's really worth it there? What about prizes? What type of beneficiary are we looking for? What's going to be compelling to our donors? So I think what I would say is, rather than one huge challenge that we were really lost about, it was these little steps that we didn't have the knowledge to be keyed into, and to help us understand how to make that decision a little bit more efficiently.
Yeah. Did you find, and I think your feedback is actually very valid. That's part of the reason that I've been doing this podcast, is to start documenting, some of the ideas and challenges and ways that people are fundraising. Because I think a lot of people kind of think it's some box, and you guys are clearly, working outside of the box. Is there anything that the GiveSignup Run Signup platform did that would made it any easier for you?
Yeah, definitely. I think a huge thing was that when we were organizing this event, we wanted to keep it as simple and streamlined as possible, for both for ourselves and for our participants. So we wanted to be able to manage signups, participants, and fundraising all in one place, and Run Signup allowed us to do that. And another huge priority for us, something that we thought would be super exciting for our participants, would be the ability to have individual fundraisers. So we wanted to give our participants the tools to manage and run their own mini fundraisers, because at the end of the day, Hero Swim is about raising money for causes, but it's also about passing the tools, the fundraising tools, on to the younger generations and giving them the knowledge and information they need to be able to, take the model of Hero Swim and go and do it themselves. So the ability to have our participants set up individual fundraisers on Run Sign Up, we thought was super cool right from the beginning.
Cool. So in terms of fundraising and marketing tactics, what has been most effective for you and your team?
We basically tried to maximize what we see as the three variables of event-based fundraising. We have your participation, so that's the number of people, right, who are signing up for the events, who are coming to the events. You have the number of donors that each participant can get, and then how big those donations will be. So the way we maximize participation is by having in-person conversations. Each person on our team is, trying to reach as many people as we can, but we're not just trying to text them. We're not trying to email them. We're not trying to do any sort of communication that's easy to ignore, easy to miss, right? We want to have a genuine 5 or 10-minute conversation with them, because it's not just about getting numbers of participation, it's about getting donors per participant. And to be able to maximize that, you need to have them excited. You need to have them willing to put in some work, maybe to send out those emails, right? So those individual conversations are about getting them excited about the event, getting them excited about the cause. And from there, we give them email templates, these tools they need to maximize the donation size. But as long as they're excited about it, then individually, they're going to have some agency. They're going to, want to raise money. They're going to feel empowered to raise money. And that's going to be able to increase the donors per participant. And then it's the email templates, making sure that we're Humza and I are spending late nights poring over these email templates, making sure every word is just right, because they're going to be read by 400, 500, 600 people, maybe more, and it has to strike exactly that right tone. It has to be concise so that every donor can just in that couple seconds that they might skim the email will feel a sense of, hey, I really want to get behind this. I want to support this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think a huge thing we found is that treating our donors with care and importance and making them feel valued is super important when it comes to both maximizing everything, participation, donation size, and I think most of all, making sure that our donors are returning year over year. So I think, simple things that we've done, like David mentioned, personal email templates or delivering handwritten notes to our most enthusiastic supporters, those small gestures can go a long way in getting people excited about the event, excited about the organization, and making them come back year over year.
Yeah.
And especially with, this is within a community, right? So you can't treat your donors like robots. They're going to be there tomorrow. They're going to be there the next year. And you want them to be just as excited about it next year.
Yeah, sending handwritten notes is something that in all walks of life will give you benefit. So never forget that lesson, especially, with donations, because in general, it's not like I give you $100 and I get some product back. I'm getting a satisfaction and a feeling of worth that I'm participating in something that's worth my time and energy. So you guys are recognizing that. And then, writing a note that says, hey, look forward to seeing you next year as part of that note, to try to get them to come back. And that's extremely important. And I'm betting if we looked at your data, your number of donors that return and number of participants that return are probably higher than average.
Yeah.
So what types of incentives have you used to encourage, supporter participation? Is there any particular incentive that's worked best?
Yeah, definitely. I think a huge thing that we've done throughout the years is tiered prizes based on donations. So we've provided prizes for, say, the top 10 donors, and then bigger prizes for the top 3 donors. And when you pair that with the ability for participants to do their own fundraising and have their own individual fundraising pages, we've seen that that's really powerful for generating more support, both in terms of donations and in terms of participation. You get people excited about these prizes, and there's an element of friendly competition to it, where you're all working towards the same goal, but at the same time, you have an incentive to go out and get more people to donate to your individual fundraiser. And it doesn't stop there. Before the event, at the event, we also run auctions, we have raffles, we make things official by having an organization representative at the event. Like our most recent in-person event, we had a representative from the Coral Reef Alliance greeting participants at the door, guest appearances, like I mentioned earlier. And then another thing that we piloted in our most recent in-person event, which was way back in 2019, was something we called Neighborhood Heroes. So we wanted to take our mission of empowering local youth to do their own fundraising to the next level. So we created a system where younger kids in our neighborhood would go around door to door, give out wristbands and Hero Swim merch, and do kind of fundraising campaigning at the same time to get people excited about coming to the event. So we kind of had a network of these, what we called neighborhood heroes, going out and spreading the event by word of mouth, which we found is a lot more powerful than just posting on Facebook or putting up
Sure.
some flyers here and there.
Have you been able to tap into any local companies or businesses that would provide you any gifts that would be used as incentives?
Yeah, so, well, this isn't necessarily as an incentive, but we've partnered with Agile Physical Therapy over the past 3 years, and they've been extremely generous in supporting us and expanding the range of things that we can provide to our participants. And I think year one we went door to door businesses, right, Humza, where we asked, hey, would you be willing to donate gift cards as prizes? That was actually pretty successful, I think.
Well,
it was a little cumbersome, and I'm not sure that was quite as effective as making this one really strong connection with a company instead of showing up at the door, but certainly another method.
Yeah, I agree. I've done both. When I was in college, I went door to door getting gift cards for an indoor triathlon I put on, and I would agree finding a single partner that's really behind it is more efficient and probably more effective for that business as well.
Yeah.
So what changes did you make in 2020 for your fundraising due to the pandemic? And kind of, I'm guessing you're going to do virtual again for 2021?
We're hoping to have some sort of in-person event, hopefully spring 2022.
Okay.
But yeah, right now, I mean, we're still all online.
Okay. So how did you, I know a lot of your tactics, you're, saying, hey, door to door and things like that. What types of changes did you make, due to the pandemic?
So right when the pandemic hit, all this pressure on the restaurants, right? All of a sudden, all their customers are gone. So we decided to do a local restaurant relief fundraiser. And we looked out for, what are the restaurants that people that have really been supporting the communities, that have been sponsoring the Little League teams or, the Girl Scout troops. And these places that are a big part of the community that we want to give back to. And at this point, we can have an event, right? Our primary strategy is gone, and this is where really caring for our donors came back to us, right? We couldn't have the same powerful fundraising system that we used to have, but we still had donors who we had been loyal to, that we cared about, and we had shown that care, and who were really ready to be generous, and were generous, which we're super grateful for. So I think, that year, our typical Swimathon raised about 30,000. That year we were about 10,000, which I thought was still really strong for an entirely online event. And I did think that spoke to the work we put in to establish that relationship with our donors.
Agreed. Yeah, it's very, many organizations took significant, downturns because they couldn't pivot online. And I think it's fairly impressive that you were able to still kind of keep it going, considering a lot of your strategies did involve kind of in-person interactions. You were going to take a step back just because that was one of your kind of secret tools that other people aren't using.
Right. And then we still kept we tried to keep some elements of what we had been doing before. Like, for example, I think David did go and meet with the restaurant owners to have conversations with them. And when, we were delivering them the donations, we still delivered handwritten notes by mail, just walking around the neighborhood and dropping them in mailboxes. So we did try to keep some elements of what we had found to be most successful when we were still in person. But obviously we were still very limited by the online format.
Sure. So looking forward to 2022, what are you most looking forward to for 2022?
Definitely. I think in terms of Hero Swim, during the pandemic, we've started thinking about how we can reach an audience outside of our local community. Because we have over 4 years now of fundraising experience just working within our local area, and we want to see if there's a way that we can share our experience more broadly. So we've actually been working on a bigger project, which is creating an accessible and comprehensive fundraising guide for new fundraisers, which is kind of going back to what I talked about at the very beginning, where we were just starting out and we couldn't find anything out there that would really help us go from A to Z in a really easy, interactive, accessible, comprehensive way. So now we're making the push to create and spread this interactive website that guides users through the fundraising process in a fun and interactive way. And we've written all the content, and we're now looking at working with a third party to implement this as a standalone platform. And we hope that in the future, this will become a pretty unique player in the fundraising space. And we're doing this by designing the platform to be, like I said before, interactive, not just a collection of articles or one long PDF, which is what we've mainly been finding online, but really a course, someone like what you would find on Duolingo or Khan Academy, those types of sites so we're kind of taking that educational model and trying to apply it to fundraising.
That's great. And I think that's something we would actually be very interested in looking at and promoting within our group, because what we found last year in particular was that the ability for organizations to pivot and continue to fundraise was not there. I mean, people needed a lot of hand-holding, and
right.
That's the same as when you're starting brand new. You need a lot of the same things. So when you can't do in-person events, how do I raise money? Virtual fundraisers were unheard of. And so we did a lot of that last year, but would love to see your perspective, because you guys have been through it, and see if that's something we could share with our audience as well.
Definitely.
And just to go back to that as well, I think, obviously the chance to do one final event together, perhaps sometime down the line, we can continue to do this as well. But after so much time off, we really enjoy this process. We enjoy having our Sunday morning meetings. We enjoy sitting around that table with our snacks and chatting about, finding that productive, fun and productivity balance. And so I think just getting back to that, putting on an event that people are going to enjoy, it's something that you hear this all the time with COVID, but you take for granted what you had before, right? And we took for granted how special the experience of creating this and of putting it on and of seeing people come out and be excited about it. So we're really excited to go back to that.
Yeah. I'll just echo that really quickly, that it's a lot of work putting these events together, but it's a lot of fun, because at the end of the day, Hero Swim, we're a group of friends, and we're doing this because it's fun and it makes us happy, and the satisfaction of seeing it all come together in the end is just awesome. So we can't wait to hopefully get back to that in 2022.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the fact that you guys have been able to find that balance of, helping the community, learning, having fun with your friends, it's a really good thing, and it's something that you'll look back on 20 years from now, and you'll say, oh yeah, like I need to recreate that. Like you'll yearn for that again, and maybe you guys will do some other great project together in the future too.
Yeah, who knows?
So where would people find out more information about Hero Swim online?
So we have a website. It's hero-swim-squarespace.com.
Okay.
That's where we have information about our history. You can see the results of our past fundraisers. You can learn more about our team, the different causes we've donated to. That's also where we put advertising and information about our upcoming events. So that's kind of basically our main hub for everything.
So soft plug here, we do have a free donation website that you can set up on our site now, so that you guys could actually map an entire domain over to our system, and like we could be your entire website and everything for you. So something to look at for the future, because you could kind of get what you want out of Squarespace, but it's all hosted for free by us. So
that's great.
So I have 3 more questions for you. Only one tough one. The other 2 are easy and fun. So the tough question is, best piece of advice you've received in regards to events.
One thing that we've taken, or that we've learned to understand and take advantage of is, this is part of the, it's both a good and a bad that an event-based fundraiser requires a little bit more from a participant. It's not just, typing up a quick note, sending a little money, right? They are attending something. It's taking up time in their day. It's, it's requiring them to send out emails. And the challenge is getting people excited about what is sometimes a pretty big commitment. So what we've worked to do is, it's all about fun. It's all about describing it as fun. We want to, take a certain community, say the high school water polo team, who, they're in the pool all the time. Even if you're not going to come swim laps, hey, you want to come toss a ball around in the pool, right? And we want to get, 3 or 4 of them excited and get the rest of them excited, right? Maybe it feels like a lot, it feels intimidating, but hey, if Captain Johnny's going to be there and, it's going to be lots of fun, hey, I'm going to go join, right? I'm going to give it a shot. And if we can get people excited about it, what is ultimately a little bit bigger of a commitment, we're going to get more out of them than we would if this wasn't an event. If this wasn't an event, right? Because they're going to be willing to commit a little bit. So that's something that I think we initially struggled with a little bit, but we've learned to understand the value of it as well. And I think we've been able to solve that problem.
Yeah, I think prioritizing, making it fun, not overthinking it, keeping things pretty simple, just focused on delivering a great experience for everyone, while also, obviously making an impact on whatever cause we select, is a huge part of our process.
That's great advice for just about anything. You can overcomplicate making a peanut butter sandwich.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I think you guys have learned a good lesson there in that, the event's really important for having we call it urgency. You got to have something that like culminates and causes urgency. Like, why am I going to do it today? I could just do it tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we're to the fun questions. So funniest thing you've seen at an event?
We had a group of probably 20 big, strong water polo boys playing a game of the little basketball hoop on the side of the pool, like a physical game in the deep end, and kind of everyone else is watching and laughing from the side. That stands out to me. I think we've also had a lot of fun with the auction. But what would you say, Humza?
I think the drone was pretty funny.
Yes.
One of our events, I was flying a drone to get some footage. And all the footage, the swimmers' heads, they just poke out of the water and watch it as it circles around the pool. So we had this drone flying around all day. That was pretty funny.
All right, so last question, and we'll get you out of here, is what is your favorite event to attend? And it can be, if you like going to the Warriors games, concerts, whatever. Like, what's your favorite type of event to attend?
I'd say Stanford football games. Dave and I go to a lot of Stanford football games. Just great vibe, great atmosphere, good food. Not too expensive. Nothing like buying tickets to an NBA or an NFL game. It's just a good way for the Hero Swim team to spend our Saturday nights.
I'd have to agree with that one.
Okay. Well, I appreciate both of you taking time early in the morning here for you guys. For me, it's easy, So I want to commend both of you for putting the time and effort into, staying committed to this, and both just being very articulate and sharing what you know. And I think there's going to be a few people that reach out to you maybe for some advice. And I really, really do want to connect with you and see what you guys have built for this new fundraiser platform that you have. I think it's an incredible idea, and love to give you some feedback on it.
Definitely. Yeah, we were talking to some other people on your team pretty early on when we were starting out with this project. So it'd be great to come back and show you the somewhat final product.
Sure. Well, thank you both for your time, and we look forward to sharing this with our audience here next week or so.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. This was great. Lots of fun.
Yeah, thanks, Brian.